Hello. Finally here. Am I finally here? I finally have a mic. Good. I just forget the mic thing. I always forget to change the mic. I don't know why the default mic doesn't go to default. It's annoying as heck. I've got to figure that out. So anyway, um, I watched Bailing Out Loud this morning. I didn't say we wouldn't discuss reality TV. I just said we wouldn't have recaps. Uh, so Balin's grandma arrives at their apartment um, for the wedding, and she screams at Colin to come out and talk to her. And of course, she wants to talk about his plan B because she says everyone needs a plan B. You know what? Most people don't even have plan A. My kid did not have a plan A. He's doing great, by the way. Started his new job this week that he fell into essentially, but he's doing good. He's gotten his promotion. He's going to be out of town next week, so good for him. So proud of him. He doesn't have plan B either. And Colin says he doesn't want a plan B. He says not going to be as motivated if he has a plan B. And I mean, that's fair. His plan B could be going back to the military. That could be his plan B. He should just tell him that, whether it is or not. Yeah, sometimes you gotta lie and then, like, get people off your back. It's sad that people can't mind their own business. What else? Sammy and Baylan seem to be getting along. She actually came for the wedding and spent the night at the apartment with Baylan and Colin. So that's a good thing. Beckner, get your own show. Beckner and Anna from Seven Little Johnston's. Oh, speaking of Seven Little Johnston's, Anna said she wants to get married so she can change her name. Like, Anna, you don't need to get married to change your name. You can change your name whenever you want. Just do it. Just do it, girl. You got this. What else? I'm gonna wait to watch Jay and Pamela until Tuesday. I'll watch them just before I get on so I can like do a mini thoughts on the episode thing. And the parents are like, oh my gosh, I can't stand Balin's parents. They are the worst. Like her mom, they're so catastrophizing. Like they're thinking the worst is gonna happen. Don't think that. You can't think that way. That causes anxiety. No wonder you have the entire freaking family has anxiety. You can't think of the worst things happening. You have to go in, you have to be knowledgeable about the worst things. You have to know about them in the back of your mind. But you have to have a positive attitude about everything in life, and it will go far for you. Like, don't think about the worst thing that can happen. Think about the best thing that can happen. Have the worst thing like over there, because you know it's there. You know it can happen, but it's like less than 1% of the time, the worst thing happens. Less than 1% of the time. Usually, it's okay. It's okay. Things are okay. You'll live. Promise. Everybody lives. Oh, what else? I don't have a name for the episode because we're doing what we did yesterday. So, we'll have to go through these and figure out a name. So, if I come across a good one, I might change it while we do this. We're gonna do the same thing as yesterday because I feel like spending 20 minutes on, oh, good 40 minutes actually, on fixing everything. So, we're winging it again. It's not worth it for one day. Sorry. I wouldn't have had time to watch Balin if I did that. Yes, I could have taken it out there and done it while I watched her. But it's not worth it. It's not worth it. I don't have a life and it's still not worth it. Okay. So up first, we're gonna go to Petty Revenge. I also need to rearrange these because I rearrange them every month. Uh, I rearrange the order every month to give you some variety, to give myself some variety. I'm the one that needs novel things, no matter what my husband says. Well, this one is entitled Called My Bank, was told they couldn't do anything, emailed every important sounding staff on their website. Problem fixed in less than 10 minutes. Super mini revenge. I made a mistake and I had made 2 orders online when the page loaded weird and didn't appear to process my payment, even though it had. Hate it when that happens. Like, that's just a call to your, that should just be a call to your credit card provider. Pay canceled one of the payments as soon as I notified him. The main money has been on hold for a week, over 5 business days now. Called the bank and was told the payee was the one who had the hold on the money until July 31st, and there was nothing the bank could do. Called the payee. They were super nice. Confirmed they had canceled the original payment and had no idea where the July 31st date would come from. So the bank's just messing at that point. Attempted to call the bank back. Called 4 times before the front desk took my call. Transferred me to a lady who originally told me she could do nothing. Lady put me right through to voicemail. Looked up that lady's number on the bank's website, called it, put through voicemail again. I mean, there is a possibility they were working with other customers. It may not be anything. Like, I know that I have had people call and call and call and call and call. And I put them to voicemail every time because I was on another call or I was with someone, and they get priority, first come, first serve. Sorry. I've had people stand in front of me and go, "You can take that call." And it's like, "No, you're here now. I'm talking to you. You get priority. You were here first." uh, sat for a moment when the decision was made. I went to the bank's website and copied the email of every single person who sounded the least bit important, i.e., management, account supervisors, along with people who had been ignoring my calls and telling me there was nothing they could do. 15 people in total. I explained my situation and included a screenshot of my outgoing calls. That email was sent at 11:36 a.m. Lady who originally told me there was nothing she could do emailed me at 11:45 a.m. to tell me we just went on your account again in the system. Let us remove the hold, so you're all good now. Direct copy from this professional's email. I'm slowly cutting ties with this bank. I can't wait until I'm done with them entirely. Edit, I want to thank you for all the comments and upvotes. Rant about my bank becoming my #1 post has been super validating. Top comments from Stock Soup. And they say, I did the same thing with a health clinic that was ignoring me after overcharging. They stopped responding, so I went to LinkedIn for their corporate staff's names and then followed the same format as the email address of the lady that wouldn't respond. Their head of HR got back to me within the hour and said my check would be in the mail that day. My favorite insomnia answers, the old check is in the mail response. It's just sarcasm. Mordecai says it's only been 11 years. Give it time. Bella Bain says, is the second top rated comment. That's excellent. When I was a broke college student, I once closed a bank account and the bank didn't process it correctly, so I kept tacking on late fees. When I was finally sick of getting all the negative bank statements, I went in and told them it was a closed account they needed to stop. The manager told me it couldn't be closed until the late fees were paid. I stared at her and told her I don't pay for their staff's incompetence. I was told it was closed on the day I asked for. After a few minutes staring at me, both of us inside, she finally agreed to clear up the fees and close the account. It says cleared up the fess, but I know they mean fees. Laramie Wall, former Wells Fargo user. Oh, don't use Wells Fargo. They're the worst. They like literally do illegal stuff with your account. Trouble for it. I had my check direct deposited and later that day made it with the withdrawal. I was charged an overdraft because at the end of the day, apparently they do all the withdrawals, then all the deposits. That makes no sense at all. That's just a way to get more fees. That's crazy. I went to the local bank and asked them, and they said, no, that's not standard procedure for banks. I went to the lobby of Wells Fargo and complained with timestamp paperwork. They pushed back and eventually refunded the overdraft. I asked for a balance that showed overdraft was refunded. Then they immediately asked for a cashier's check for my full, but then I immediately asked for a cashier's check for my full balance. Why we refunded the overdraft? Yeah, this time I'm not doing this again. Full bank balance on cashier's check, then close my account. F those guys. 100%. Mysterious P says I got in deep trouble for this practice, as did several other large banks. It is no longer allowed under law. Somebody says they rolled that back, and Wells Fargo is doing it again. Harris Morning is the third top right comment, and she says, I went through a insane hassle with the New York Times that kept charging my card even though the subscription had been canceled, and they were charging me twice. This went on for months. I was getting nowhere with customer support. My credit card told me to just cancel the card and they'd send a new one, but we'd had that card for many years and it was tied to payments, etc. I was damned if I was going to go through all that because they were being jerks. I mean, I've had to go through that a couple of times because of bank fraud. I really need to get a list of everything we paid for. So I did the same thing. I wrote a letter, let's just say, a stern letter about this frustrating, unnecessary situation and emailed it to everyone from the top down. The issue was resolved within a day. They refunded all the money immediately and I was never charged again. Not Your Nanny answers, the card I use all the time includes virtual cards. Every website gets a unique card number, which I can suspend or cancel in real time on the app. And if I have to replace the actual card, the virtual numbers aren't affected because they're tied to the account, not the card number. Interesting. Okay. My card keeps telling me I need a virtual, or my wallets keep telling me I need a virtual card. Should probably do that. That would probably be a really good idea. In all actuality, because I do use that account a lot. All right. That is our petty revenge for the week. Do you know how to use shortcuts on like Google Sheets and Excel? It's really handy. And today we can actually do this. Week 1. Sure, that's right. No, that's wrong. Okay. Yep, that was right the first time. I have different colors for stuff. Next is, am I overreacting? Am I overreacting about being upset at my boyfriend for not wanting me to get a tattoo? If your boyfriend doesn't want you to get a tattoo, then probably not a good boyfriend for you. So she shows him a picture of a tattoo, like chest between. No more. I'm tired of seeing ink on your body and you're wasting money. Needs to stay clear and that's final. And she answers, I'm not sure what your issue is with tattoos, but okay. My issue is you look good without it. He likes the clear skin. I mean, and that's fair, but don't date somebody that wants tattoos. It's a nice Jewish girl. If you're unaware, they're not allowed to have tattoos. There are Jews with tattoos, don't get me wrong. I know one. But technically, it's against their religion to have tattoos. And he goes on about valuing opinions and all that crap. She says she finds him attractive. He says he just doesn't want it on her body or his partner's body. Get a new partner. There are people out there that don't have tattoos. I don't have any. My kids, as far as I know, don't have any, but my daughter might get one. I wouldn't be surprised. My daughter-in-law does have tattoo. I don't think she's got any since they got married, though. And I don't think he's telling her not to. He doesn't care. I'm honestly frustrated. He has always had something to say about what I do, whether it's the music I listen to, what I wear, how I talk. Okay. He's just controlling then. He's controlling. He doesn't really have an opinion about tattoos. He just wants to control you. It's exhausting. I'm so over his controlling mindset. I have 6 tattoos currently: shoulder, collarbone, spine, forearms, and thigh. They aren't big tattoos, and they are cohesive with my aesthetic, whatever that means. I have no idea. He has an entire ideology of how he thinks a woman should present herself, and it genuinely infuriates me. A woman should dress modest. Cover yourself up. You're doing this for male attention. I love the clean look on woman. You want to be like the world. He sounds like a misogynistic crystal fascist. He criticizes everything I do, but when I say something about him, he can't take it. Like, dude, actually get over yourself. Am I being unreasonable for feeling this way? No, you're not, and you should dump him. This is like a city of red flags, girl. Run. Run as fast as you can. Jade Feather says he has every right not to feel attracted to tattoos. He has zero right to decide whether you have any. Scarecrow says exactly. He can vote with his feet if he doesn't like it, but he can't stop it from me herself. Pizzicato says also, why date a woman with tattoos if they're so unattractive to you? When you got with her, she had love tattoos, and now I expect her to stop. Subject ad answers. This quote is fitting. The way my mother always explained it, the traditional man wants a woman to be subservient, but he never falls in love with the subservient woman. He's attracted to independent women. He's an exotic bird collector, she said. He only wants a woman who is free because his dream is to put her in a cage, and that's by Trevor Noah in Born a Crime. I like Trevor Noah. Somebody answer, or is the second top rated comment. I don't know what their handle's supposed to be or how to say it. Nor, but I don't think you guys are compatible. Exactly. He's allowed to not like tattoos on his partner. You're allowed to get as many tattoos as you like. He's not allowed to tell you what to do. I think you've reached an impasse, and as cliche as it is to give this advice on Reddit, you need to think if this is the person you want to stay with. Exactly. Third top priority comment is a way elephant says, honestly, you two don't seem compatible. He has his own theory of what he wants out of you, and that's not who you are. You are your own person. Just end this relationship, move on with somebody that appreciates you as a person. Jen McSpoony answers exactly. He wants a trad wife, apparently. Unknown Flower Pastry says, I will never understand why men pine after baddies and then want to strip them of everything that made them a baddie. Why can't they go after a church girl they so desperately crave? Not saying church girlies can't be baddies, but like, you know what I mean. Yeah, we know what you mean. Why can't they go to the girl who already agrees with them? They see a woman who is very clearly the opposite of what they want, and they go, that's the one I want to control and change in every way possible. Because it's about the control. It's not about the attraction. It's about the control. Always. That's why I was doing it that way. I knew there had to be a reason. Next, we have entitled people. This is entitled Neighbor tries storming over demanding access to my Disney Plus login information so she can watch a show she wants to watch. No. Uh, Looks almost like it's I'm confused. I wonder if this is just updates. Okay. This morning, my daughter took the dogs outside to let the dogs go to the bathroom. Once the dogs got back to my daughter, before she could scoop up any poop the dogs did, my next door neighbor walks over to her at a reasonable distance and asks, "Does your family have Disney Plus? There's a show I want to see, but I missed it last night because I don't get the channel. And I heard it's available on Disney Plus. Can you give me your login info, please?" No, absolutely not. My daughter tells her that's something she can't give the information. The daughter says, "It's not like your mom would notice." Wow. My daughter again refuses to say anything, and the neighbor gets really angry and then storms over and says she is only asking one more time, and my daughter again says no. When someone tells you no, it's a complete sentence. Please take no for an answer. Neighbor then leaves and steps in the poop my daughter was going to scoop up, and the lady screams loud and swears. I plan to say to the neighbor if she confronts me, "Buy your own subscription to Disney Plus. I'm not paying for any new shoes." Yeah, she did this to herself. Uh, Edit or update. For those asking, my daughter's 15. She called the police on the neighbor yesterday after I told her to do so because of what the neighbor said is dangerous behavior. This morning, I saw my neighbor's sister, who does my morning cycling class at 8 o'clock, and she told me how the police have charged her sister with second-degree trespass because the police noted the sign on my front drive, "This is private property, no trespassing," communicating a threat and crime known as computer trespass. The sister says she's not taking her sister's side in this because that's what her sister did is not excusable behavior. Good on this sister. Green flags for neighbor's sister because that's how you act when your family member is doing stupid crap. Update. If anyone tries asking what the show was, she wanted to watch a three-part documentary, Pompeii Out of Time, with Tom Huddleston, because apparently from a prior talk with her long ago, she has the biggest crush on him, and she actually just wants to swoon over him instead of pay attention to what the documentary had to say. Oh, that's really sad. That's really sad. And weird. Not in a good way. Reasonable Bus says, "Oh, bother. She's not a fan of poo." Spelled poo wrong. Oh, no, it's spelled poo right. Steve Pence said Winnie the Pooh, P-O-O, not P-O-O-H. Somebody wrote a song, so that's nice. No, I cannot tell you the song. Incognonymous says, "Change your Wi-Fi to be called Buy Your Own Disney bitch." Disney Plus bitch. Uh, Corgi Silver says, "Being that petty is not worth having to reconnect all your Wi-Fi devices." Swivel says, "Use an old phone to make a new hotspot. Give that the name, all the benefits, and no relogging in anything." Third top rate comment is from Joey Panda. They say, "Favorite moment ever in my life was my best friend share a Disney Plus subscription. I watch it on my TV, and she watches it on our tablet laptop to get around the password sharing. Her and her abusive ex broke up, and he still had the password to my Disney Plus. I waited until he was on the finale of the show he was watching. That was so good, and changed the password and logged out of all the devices. I have the messages and voicemail saved of his kicking off because it's just too funny." Somebody says, now that's how you support a friend. Yeah, we don't have these dramas in our family. And we do share stuff, but there's just no drama about it. Wrong color. X is murdered by words. This is how Democrats are expected to fix everything. It's pretty much true. Mamdani is busy pushing free babysitters and busing, while New York City looks like this with every heavy rainfall and it's flooded. It's showing flooded. Uh, answer is, the heck was that? That was really weird. I don't know what that was about. I just got a weird notification from somebody really odd. That's really odd. It says $10 million, and it says it's from 10 million is the answer, and the message is just 10 million. Usually my spam filters are pretty good. I don't know how they got through. It's very odd. I don't get it. Okay, and the answer. So somebody's complaining about the heavy flooding with heavy rainfall. Have you met Detroit? Sorry, you got nothing on 'em. The murderer said, was he supposed to go back in time and stop the last 200 years of free market capitalism? Cars carpal is the top rated comment. They say, I love how utterly desperate Ratchik is to find fault, try and find fault with Mom Donnie. Um, and then he's got a meme that says, "What's that smell?" Oh yes, desperation, perspiration. Bojack Molman answers that the New York Post took a brief break last week from making homeless person nutrient extraction and crushing machines to criticize Mamdani about how homeless people were dying and we have a cold snap. The New York Post is a newspaper for people who should move to Alabama, but they know they need to nurse off the heat of the Democratic state. True that. Kahn says another textbook example of the right wired brain's absolute inability to avoid producing false equivalents. All their men are straw men, so it makes sense. And then somebody quoted that and said, "Let me see if we can fix that with the meme of the Wicked Witch of the West. How about a little fire scarecrow?" Mikaloo is the third top rated comment. They say, petition Mom Donnelly to drink all the flood water away with a big straw. If New York had elected Paul Bunyan, this wouldn't have happened. Oh, that's great. I love it. Christmas. I don't know why I just say Christmas. It is time to not Christmas. Next is traumatized and back and is entitled Your Girlfriend Won't Want to Date You, in quotes. So yesterday I went to the doctor because I was worried about having breast cancer. Didn't, just a cyst and a bacterial infection, thank goodness. So to celebrate being okay, my partner's friends and I all went to a gay bar to celebrate me not having cancer. I'm in an 8-person poly relationship, but I'm only dating 2 of the people in the relationship. My girls are dating the others. The one thing you will be absolutely familiar with if you've ever been a lesbian or bi woman in a gay bar is that gay bars have a massive problem with straight men coming there to hit on women. I guess they don't think women can be gay. Anyway, one of my girlfriends who were poly is very hot, like peak lipstick lesbian, dream hot girl hot, and often has to deal with these guys when our other girlfriend and I are not around because she's not a very confrontational person. This drunk straight dude started hitting on her and wouldn't leave her alone. So of course she stumbled half drunk over to the rest of our group. She hid behind her boyfriend, he's buff as heck, and the guy kept asking if he was her boyfriend. So me, being an androgynous transgender fluid person and high off the happiness of not having cancer, walked over and smirked, "Dude, she's not his girlfriend. She's mine." I He says, quote, "I don't drink." The dude looked over and stopped short. His slow, drunk brain couldn't seem to figure out if I was a boy or a girl. You're you a boy or girl or boy?" He said, slurred. "Neither," I said. "Keep saying that and your girlfriend won't want to date you," he says angrily. I smirked, kissing my lipstick lesbian girlfriend and my other girlfriend. The guy's eyes bugging out of his 2 sockets like his homophobic drunk ass couldn't comprehend a non-gender conforming person having not one but 2 partners. He scoffed and stumbled away. After a cancer scare and finding out I was perfectly okay, seeing that dude eventually get kicked out of the bar for starting a fight with some butch over flirting with a girlfriend was a very fun way to end the night. So this is JC if they were in a poly relationship. Cafe latte, I'm just telling you guys. It's my life. It's not. It's not. It's just the fun part. Uh, Top rate comments from Dude Who Cares. He says, "I kind of wonder if that'll make him reflect on his dumbass views. Maybe the Wojak comments were wrong or something like that." Tastewell says, "Spoiler, it won't. He won't reflect on anything. He's not reflective. He's transparent." That is a good point. Rainy Grave says, "Kudos for probable damage to his homophobic bank as well." Moscabo says, "I Wang love this for you. Not the Wang, not the ass, but the cancer-free diagnosis and the girlfriends." I'm glad. I'm glad. If they're happy, I'm happy. They're not harming anyone, so that makes me happy. Bullying, by the way, is very harmful. Just saying. Next is what should I do? What should I do? Entitled, "My mother is forcing my 13-year-old brother to sleep in the same bed as her." That's gross. I, female 19, live with my mother, female 51, and little brother recently turned at 13. My mother and I have a complex, tumultuous relationship due to my continuous need for independence. We argue constantly because she wants me to stay home and live under her, while I have the desire to break free and live my life the way I want to, etc., etc. Teen girl jargon. It's not even, you're an adult. You're not even, I mean, yeah, you're still a teenager, but you're also an adult. So I had this unscented lotion. My husband can smell it because, of course, he can. Well, this is where my little brother comes into play. He recently turned 13, and the looming issue of where he is going to sleep at night has come back. Since my brother was born, he's been sleeping in my mother's bedroom. Even when my father was still living with us, my dad would sleep in the bedroom meant for my brother while my brother slept with my mom. That is so weird. For the first couple of years of his life, it was normal because he was a small child. Both me and my older sister spent our years sleeping in the same bed as her. But as he grew, it became more concerning. Yeah. um, and before anyone asks, no, my brother doesn't have any mental or physical disabilities or anything that would cause him the need for sleep in my my mom. And my brother has expressed desires to have his own bedroom space, and obviously, as any teenage boy would. The issue is what I believe to be my mom's overbearing personality. She outwardly refuses to let him sleep on his own in his own bedroom, excusing herself by saying my brother is her only son and her youngest. Okay, he's a teenager. She doesn't want to rush him. As of our recent argument, I yelled at her and told her, I'm not going to live underneath you like brother's name. We'll call him today's C. Carl. Like Carl. He's 13 and still sleeping in the same bed as you. Her response was, don't tell me how to raise my child. Um, at the present, I am stunned. I'm unsure of what to say or do. It makes me uncomfortable to admit, but the whole situation to me tethers the line of emotional incest. Honestly, I'm not sure what to ask, but I'm coming on the subreddit seeking advice on the best ways to approach this situation. Call CPS. Honestly, that's the best way to approach the situation because that is entirely inappropriate. Entirely inappropriate. Update. I read all your comments and took into consideration everyone's advice. I wanted to give context about why my siblings, brother of 13 and sister 25, slept with my mom as children. Like I said in the comments, my father is emotionally, physically, and financially abusive and has a long history of cheating on my mom, so their sexual chemistry is dead. My parents haven't slept in the same bed since before I was born, and that's mostly my mom's doing. Well, how did you get pregnant with your brother then? Is your brother not your dad's? If she has sleeping in bed with her, my father wouldn't pester and coerce her into having sex. When I said my father had left, I meant as of recently before my brother turned 13, so my mother only has had a couple of months of not having to deal with my father's exploitation. I'm assuming she's being slow to adapt to the new. She's so used to this living predicament to protect herself from being sexually exploited that she doesn't know how to fix and change what she's been doing for 20-ish years. And I don't think that matters. That is not appropriate. It was not appropriate as soon as the kid was 5. Like, school age kids do not sleep with their parents under normal circumstances every night. Now, yeah, there are times where, I mean, it's fine to have your kids in bed with you when they go to sleep, when they wake up in the morning, when they're sick, when they're tired, when they're cranky, when you're sick or tired or cranky, or there's a storm or something like that. But as a normal course of events, no, that is not normal in this country. And it's certainly not 13-year-old. Those kids have hormones, you know. It could be very confusing for him. Uh, my sister and I have spoken to my brother and explained to him that it's not okay and he needs space to grow as a boy and let him know he has the support from me and my sister. Not to give too much personal information, but my sister has training to deal with people facing SA and has multiple years of experience. So she also spoke to him and let me know that she too doesn't believe there are any signs of SA. Oh, that's good, but still not normal. What if his friends find out? That'd be terrible. As about the sleeping situation currently right now, I'm fixing up his bedroom for him to sleep in tonight, waiting for it to be his bedtime. My mom seemed reluctant, but also not a full no, so I'm waiting to see what her reaction. If it's bad, I will 100% escalate the situation. Call CPS. I'll try to keep posted. Update 2. Good news. Oh, that's good. My brother spent the entire night in his bedroom. I was kind of nervous fixing up his bedroom, and asked my sister to be there to help me navigate this. At first, my mom was really, really, really apprehensive, telling me and my sister to stop pressuring the little brother to sleep in his bed along with other things. It became a slow talking back and forth to get him to his own room. I think what we were doing reminded her of her father, who had previously tried to force and intimidate my brother into sleeping alone when he was younger. It took me and my sister encouraging my brother to tell mom how he really feels for her to soften up and finally let go. She apologized for how she's been acting. That's good. And once my brother fell asleep, opened up more to me and my sister about her father. For her own privacy, I don't want to delve into what she said, but basically, everything I've said you can assume. Obviously, he was abusive, and she was using her kid as a shield, which is not a good way to deal with that, like at all. My brother's room is a little shabby due to the fact that it's never been properly used, but he slept fine. I also promised him if he stood his ground in his room, I'll decorate and buy things for it. He likes Sonic and video games, so if anybody can give me ideas on what to get, that'd be great. Reading back on other comments, I genuinely think I need to get my brother therapy. I know my sister goes to therapy, and I'm in need of it too, probably, but I'm not quite sure how to get this arranged, so I'll appreciate advice. Ask your sister. She'll know. Your sister's going to know. Because in that situation with my mom, I think it's traumatic for him. I think it's our entire family dynamic that is going to alter how he is as a person if I don't seek help. And and about therapy for my mother, I mean, she tried that years ago when things with my dad were really bad, but she just stopped, and I don't know why. Maybe due to lack of money or time or just not believing in it. Like I said, my mother's Caribbean, and even though we don't live in the Caribbean, she still carries those cultural beliefs that mental health is taboo, and you don't seek therapy unless you're crazy. Okay, so tell her she's crazy. Nothing wrong with being crazy. It's just a state of mind. So I don't know how to convince her to go out and do that, but anyways, I'll consider this to be a success. I don't know. I think I made a breakthrough with my brothers in his own room, and I didn't have to completely break up my family and lose all parental support. It was easier on me because I had help from a real adult, given her experience. Thank you guys for all the advice. Even if I didn't agree with all of it, it gave me a lot of perspective, made me move more urgently. That's good. Cheshire says, I'm a mandated reporter. If I heard or saw this in a home, I'd be calling CPS. This is not normal. Be the advocate your brother needs and call CPS. Additional set said, or call school, which is a mandatory reporter. Yeah, call the school. Less likely to says, I'm a mandated reporter as well, and CPS needs to intervene. I hope you have some adult family you can go to and discuss this is not okay. And the third top rated comment is East Judge. My ex was doing this with our daughter. I kept saying it wasn't right, and I was made to be out the problem. After relations, I would be immediately sent out of the room, and Childs was 13 by then would be called in for a cuddle and watch Game of Thrones while I was sent to make food. That's disturbing. If you watched Game of Thrones, you know. After agency involvement, it was discovered he was giving her cannabis paste to help her sleep. Even if there's nothing dodgy going on about your mom, she's using your brother for emotional enmeshment and creating a situation where your brother is expected to partner her, and that's not good for him at all. That's crazy talk. People are so weird. I do not understand how you cannot recognize what you're doing to your kids in situations like that, especially. Do you not? Are people just so incurious that they don't read anything ever? Let's correct that. Next is evil buildings. Ooh. Not scary buildings, evil buildings. Checking in from Lex Luthor's evil genius. Oh, that's pretty cool, actually. Evil genius headquarters, sorry. Oh, I think that looks cool. That looks more like Superman's hangout than Lex Luthor's to me. But that's just me. I could be wrong. It's in Pittsburgh, by the way. Jolly Guard says it's Pittsburgh's Paint and Glass PPG World Headquarters. And this is Sherwin-Williams headquarters. Like, one of these guys need to do their own thing. The other one's better. I like the little spears on the top. Oops, I just did the wrong one. I just made an oopsie. There we go. I've never heard of either of these companies, but I bet they have an enemy level intense rivalry. Gertler says you've never heard of Sherwin Williams. I feel like their name has been at the end of paint related TV commercials my entire life. And they have plenty of retail storefronts on a small estate in the US, and there are apparently 10 Sherwin Williams retail outlets in Rhode Island. I'll admit to never hearing of Pittsburgh Paint and Glass, though. Sherwin Williams HQ is milquetoast corporate evil compared to PPG's Doom Fortress. Rainier Wolf Knight says it's pretty cool seeing this building in the background during matchups again. Pirates teams on the MLB The Show. And Butt Crunch says it's one of the most unique skyscrapers. You know what that 2-year-old did to me the other day? He says, "No what?" I said, "What?" He said, "Chicken butt." He's 2. He's not 3 yet. He needs to stop it. He's so cute. Yeah, I got had by a 2-year-old. I'm not the smartest person in the drawer. I never said I was. Next is AITAH and is entitled AITAH for refusing to leave my apartment while my roommate has a guest. No, you live there. If your roommate doesn't want you there, she can work around your schedule. You shouldn't have to work around hers. For some context, I, 36 male, have been living with my roommate, 32 female, for 4 years. How did I know it was a girl instinctively? Don't know. We shared an apartment because the cost of living in my city is high. Besides, it just worked for us now. Our apartment has 3 rooms. I occupy the largest bedroom. She has a small bedroom plus the living room, which I also have access to, but I don't use. And it only hurts her stuff, and she decorates it however she wants. We arranged to split this way because I work from home and I needed a room big enough to set up an office as well. Also, I'm a homebody, so I really value my own space and spend a lot of time in it. I only leave the house for grocery shopping, dates, and jogging. She, on the other hand, spends most of her time out. She works in a city for 10 to 12 hours a day and is very outgoing. She doesn't like staying in and often goes out with friends. I'm in a relationship with my girlfriend, 33 female, who visits me regularly about twice a week and sometimes stays the night. We plan to move in together once our life situation stabilizes a bit. I don't want to go into details here, but they are irrelevant at this point to this post. I want to know though. I want to know why 230 somethings are not already living together when they both have houses, homes, I should say. My roommate is single for the most of the time we lived together, but a year ago she met a man, 34th male, from another country online. They are a long distance relationship. During this time, they have seen each other in person once when she visited him in his country. Recently, a conflict arose between us because her boyfriend decided to visit her for 10 days and by default stay at our apartment. I don't mind this. However, as the date approached, my roommate started asking if I was planning a vacation or trip during the time her partner would be visiting, which was in July. I answered truthfully that I had been on vacation in June and had trips planned for August and September, so I wasn't planning on leaving the house in July. Like I said, she should have asked him what his schedule was and then planned the visit around that time. Um, Especially since my work is freelance slash contract based, and when I'm not working, I simply don't earn money. For this reason, spontaneous trips are out of the question for me. I have to plan everything in advance to manage my finances well. My roommate acknowledged this and didn't bring up the topic again until recently. A few days before his arrival, she again asked if I was planning a vacation while my boyfriend was going to be there. I again answered, though I've been annoyed that I wasn't. I'd already told her that I couldn't afford a spontaneous trip and needed to work more this month. She didn't comment on it and walked away. The next day, however, she started conversation again. She told me that because of me, she had to rent an Airbnb for 10 days and stay there with her boyfriend. And she believes I should pay for her because oh no. No, ma'am. Because it was because of me. Since I refused to leave the apartment. She told me she was forced to do so as a significant burden on her budget. I'm sorry, ma'am. Poor planning on your part does not constitute an emergency on mine. You should have planned your boyfriend's trip around the times where I was planning to be out of town. It's very simple. I told her she must be joking and can forget about it. I also mentioned that she didn't have to do anything, as I have no problem with her boyfriend staying with us during the visit. She said they needed privacy and my presence in the home was unwanted, so she had no other choice. If you need privacy that badly, this is all on you, Chicky Doo. When I told her I wouldn't pay for her choices, she changed her tactics. She said since my girlfriend visits regularly, she should contribute to the rent because it's as if she lives with us. No. I told her that was out of the question too, and that my partner only stays over a few days a month. She is a guest, not a resident. This angered her again, and my roommate claimed that she was suffering financial losses because of me. Well, no, suffering financial loss. You're suffering financial losses due to your own choices. Oh no, consequences. Finally, she brought up another argument in the heat of the fight. She said that since I have a larger room, I should pay more, even though during the initial renting and every annual lease renewed, she's always been fine with a 50-50 split, especially since we also agreed she could treat the living room as her second room. I told her that if she felt that way, she should have said so at the time of renewal in February. Then we could have renegotiated rates. However, I stated as long as the old agreement with equal rent split is in place, I have no intention of paying her anything extra, especially since she has absolutely no problem with it for so many years. Seeing that none of her attempts to stick with me with the bill for her meeting with her boyfriend worked, she said she thought we were friends and that it wouldn't be a problem for me to do her a small favor. She said she was wrong about me and I turned out to be a classless person. Oh, this is mere projection. She's projecting onto him what she knows that she is. My partner and all my friends I've vented to about this situation. Say I have every right to live in the apartment I pay for and that my roommate is completely overreacting. Since I'm looking for validation from people who have no personal connection to me. AITAH. And if you're splitting it 50-50, I would start using the living room on a constant basis. Or, I mean, if she makes you pay more. She's got more room than you do now. I guarantee it. Miss Bandersnatch says, NTA, her boyfriend can chip in for the Airbnb if she insists on getting one. Only person making her get one is her. Exactly. Two Dogs Life answers, I mean, I could understand her getting one for some of the 10-day visit as a treat or vacation, but not the entire stay, especially if it becomes expensive. She's trying to tap dance her way into somebody else's paying for her decisions. White Boy says, I'm honestly not sure if OP is the world's dumbest roommate, has the world's dumbest roommate, or if she's just entitled and manipulative. NW says, NTA, does her boyfriend know she has a male roomie? Sounds like she's trying to hide you from him. That's my first thought. Boyfriend from a different country? Maybe not as evolved as some different countries, if you know what I mean. I bet he has no idea that she has a male roommate. Shield says she probably told him you're gay and is freaking out because if the three of you hang out, you'll find out you have a girlfriend. Certified Cerner says my exact thought, and OP wrote under another comment, roommate's boyfriend's from Turkey. Shocker. I'm an immigrant child myself with many friends from Turkey before anyone throws a racist card in my face. It's not racist. It's not racist. Turkish people, are they even that dark? I don't think they are. Turkey is a European country. It has nothing to do with racism. It has to do with their culture. And that's okay. But she shouldn't be trying to change to hide her own culture from him. Cultures do differ from country to country. Some countries are more advanced than others. By the book, Brooke says, NTA, she isn't expected to leave the apartment when your girlfriend visits, so why should you leave when she's hosting? I wonder if she hasn't told her boyfriend she lives with a male roommate. And somehow you thought leaving for 10 days was better than being honest. We'll see if my connection stays stable. Dry Ad says, right. I also wonder if what country her boyfriend's from. Thinks it might be one of those that doesn't approve of these kinds of casual, valid, and generally harmless male-female dynamics. I keep seeing something like fall. Like there's a drip outside my window. Why is there a drip outside my window? It makes no sense. It's not even raining. OP says her boyfriend's from Turkey, so I suppose that country could be considered conservative. However, I don't know if he's like that himself. I don't know much about him other than the fact that he lives in the capital with his mother. August, so his visit could have been planned for then, NTA. Her lack of proper planning is not your problem. Exactly. Exactly what did I say? And no, I don't read ahead. At least not regularly. I might once in a while. But I really don't. Next we have Neighbors from Hell. It is entitled AITAH. I don't know why that's from the name. AITAH running a coloring page on my neighbor's windshield. Why would you do that? I, 24 female, just recently moved in with my boyfriend, male 24, and his roommate, female 28. We live in a multi-unit building that has a shared carport with each unit with an assigned spot. Each section of the carport can hold 2 cars with support beam on either side. Even before I moved in, the downstairs neighbor was always parked in the center of the 2 parking spots, one being hers and one being ours. It wasn't a problem prior to my moving in because my roommate drives a moped. However, I drive a medium-sized SUV and so does our neighbor. Since I moved in, our neighbor continues to park in the middle of the carport, making it difficult for me to park correctly. So just go to management. I have to park so close to the support beam the passengers cannot get into my car on the passenger side unless I back out of the spot first. I mean, that's my daughter's garage right now. If we go visit and they usually drive to wherever we are because we already drove an hour, and we usually drive when they come here. But he has to. Whichever one is driving has to pull the car out so we can get in. It's a tiny garage. It's a teeny, teeny, tiny. It's not because they have anything in it. It's just because it's that small. First, we have tried talking to her, texting the landlord, literally everything. 2 weeks ago, my neighbor was parked so badly, my roommate could not pull her moped into the spot. I leave room in front of my car so the roommate can pull between the wall and my hood. My roommate asked her to move, and she came down and stated she would not move her car, and that was not her problem. She's on her side. The rear half of her car was on our side. We did an experiment, and my roommate parked her moped somewhere else for a week. Neighbor parked straight as a metal pole. Roommate moved her moped back. Neighbor's crooked again. Today I got home and I could barely pull in without hitting the neighbor's car. I printed out a witty coloring page and placed it under the windshield wiper. It's a black and white picture of a cartoon turtle, urging the reader to practice coloring to improve their parking. We have tried everything. She's so mean. Did my roommate every time we ask her to move. Did I take it too far, or is this justified? Honestly, you need to stop emailing the landlord and go to the office. Go to the office and complain. Celeste Silverleaf says, honestly, you're being too nice. She's clearly a jerk who doesn't care for anyone else. The coloring page is cute, but it won't fix the problem. Call the landlord again or start towing. Twinklelet Nest says, Twinklelet Nest. That's hard. It's worse than manipulation. Yeah, the coloring page is funny, but she sounds like the kind of person who only responds once towing or management gets involved. Exactly. Jin says, take a pic every single time she's seriously in your spot. Then send the pics to your landlord every couple of weeks. Say, these are from the past 14 days or whatever. NTA. Honda rider says, may I maybe ask for a reduction in rent because you do not have parking. Hit them in the money and they may respond. You might try talking about a specialist in escrow. This is a problem with the property that the landlord has not corrected. Quinn Theory says multiple photos showing the same issue are way harder to brush off than one complaint. Paper trails with these kind of disputes. At some point, this stops being a neighbor problem and becomes a landlord problem. Enforcing assigned parking is literally part of managing the property. Exactly. So this is probably what she put on the car. Many 3-year-olds have trouble staying within lines. Maybe if you practice coloring this turtle, it will help you with your parking. The old parking turtle. I routinely use these whenever I get the chance. Somebody answers, honestly, a turtle coloring page is way nicer than what she deserved. Should have given her the toddler shaped sorting tools next. I saw somebody park yesterday at Aldi in a handicap spot and was still parked on the line. Not on the inside, where the space is for the wheelchair ramps. They parked in the non-handicap parking spot over the line into the non-handicap parking spot. Like, dude, come on. I can't park in my handicap spot. You should not be driving. I'm sorry, but you should not be driving. You cannot stay in the lines in the handicap spot. Give me a break. Next, we're going to have Benign Existence as soon as I get it up here. It is entitled, My 4-year-old gave me the biggest compliment today. I asked my son randomly this afternoon if he was happy. He said yes. I asked him what made him happy, and he said, you, Mom. Don't mind me, I'm quietly tearing up, thinking I might be doing something right. Aw. Eyes Rest said, aw, yesterday my daughter came in my room and said, hey, I want to tell you something. Thank you for all the things you do to me and for everything you've given me. Couldn't knock me over with a feather. Hope he said my son had a mild 3 but spicy 4. One night after he randomly tantrumed, he told me before bed that he was sorry for being mean and that he loved me. I tried to get on video on my phone so I could play it back again and again, but he lost his train of thought because he noticed a bug toy. So close, but I took it as a win. I'm trying that single mom life isn't easy. Somebody asked how old is your daughter, and somebody answered, Total Ruler answered 34. Mother Letter says, yes, you are. And Mummy Munt says, hugs to both of you. That's very sweet. Little kids can be so sweet. It's incredible. Why can't we all be like that anymore? If everybody treated everyone like that, think of how much better the world would be rather than bullying people, making them commit suicide and stuff. I read a really sad story this morning. And people in the comments just kept bullying. All right. Now we have Found Satan, and it's a video. It says, bro's going to hell for that. So let's find out what they did. Oh my. This was clearly made up. That was a skit. That's totally a skit. There's no way that's real. A thief steals from a thief has 100 years of forgiveness. In Spain, that's what they say in Spain. It says in Brazil, left foot shorter says, chef's kiss would have been somebody coming out and grabbing the bag on the street as she chased the bike. There, all their answers. Scammer getting scammed weighs hands. I'll allow it. Left foot answers again. Short, no notes. Next, we have Just No Mel. It is entitled, My Mill accused me of keeping her from her grandchild before he was even born, and now she hasn't spoken to us in over a year. Wow. Hi, everyone. I recently joined this community and wanted to share the experience with my mother in law. Back in March 2025, I was around 3 to 4 months pregnant with our son. One evening, I was cat sitting for my parents, so I wasn't present when this happened. My fiance had gone to his parents' house for a family game night. A week before this, it had been Mother's Day. My fiance had messaged his mom asking what she was doing, and she told him she was going out for lunch with one of his sisters. He assumed she already had plans and didn't want to intrude. A week later, when he attended the family game night, he brought along a bottle of wine and a Mother's Day card as a belated gift. Instead of accepting it, my mother in law became upset and told him how hurt she was that we hadn't been there on a Mother's Day. After my fiance explained he genuinely thought she was busy because of her lunch plans, the conversation escalated. My mother shifted the topic entirely, accusing us of excluding her from our unborn child's life. Oh, Glorioski. At this point, I was still pregnant. She already has another grandchild through my fiance's brother and his partner, who live in Ireland, while we only live 5 minutes away from my in-laws. Despite this, she claimed we were to keep our son away from her as well. Well, now I am, because you're weird about it. She also accused me of stopping my fiance from spending time with his family, which couldn't be further from the truth. Anyone who knows me would laugh at this suggestion. I've never tried to interfere with his relationship with his family. I've always encouraged him to maintain those connections. According to my fiance, his mom has been drinking quite heavily that evening and was noticeably intoxicated. He tried to de escalate the situation and suggested that they discuss everything another time when emotions weren't running so high and alcohol wasn't involved. That's when my father in law, fiance's stepfather, stood up and told him to get the wang out of my house. Fiance immediately got up and left. Since then, neither of them has spoken to us. There are some people that are just like this. There's been no apology, no attempt to resolve things, and no effort to meet our son. Our little boy is now literally 11 months old, and they have been completely missing out on his entire life so far because of assumptions they made before he was even born. I still struggle to understand how a misunderstanding about Mother's Day turned into accusations that we were excluding them from their grandchild's life, especially when no such plans ever existed. It feels like they created a narrative in their head and then punished us for it. Has anyone else dealt with grandparents who essentially cut themselves off because they assumed they were going to be excluded? No, I haven't. Have you? Please let me know in the comments. SLW says she just wanted her victim origin story. Now she can tell everyone it's your fault that she hasn't seen her grandchild, which it's not. They chose that. I'm gonna need another drink. That's very thirsty today. Reggie says people who throw out accusations are telling on themselves. You're keeping me from are the same people that go out of their way to exclude others. It's true. Honestly, since your husband is hurting and missing her, then I would take the win and enjoy the peace. Crazy rat lady is the third top rate comment. She says, I would suggest that she may have early symptoms of Alzheimer's disease because Even though she was drunk, she make up a fantasy in her head. As for the father-in-law, he's just a jerk. Stop throwing accusations of diagnoses around when you are listening to one little bit of a story. You don't know that. You don't know that at all. You're not her doctor. You don't even know her. Next we have Rita Hell. Or no, we don't. Next we have Infuriating. Yes. Okay, this is entitled What the Gas Prices and Not Gas Stations Not Stealing Prices. So it's just shows of at a gas station with pop, and there's no prices on it. So he said that Dr. Pepper is at least last year past its Best Buy day. I've had a gas station Slim Jim before. It was like biting into leather. That's not true because those things go really fast. I used to merchandise, and I used to fill the candy and stuff at Home Depot. And if it was going fast there, guarantee you at a gas station it's going even faster. You're supposed to dip it in the gas to rehydrate. Kamasabi says so that they can charge whatever the wing they want whenever they want. That's probably true. Sad Randomness says, literally worked at a gas station where if I didn't know the price of something, we had to manually ring price in a lot of things. I would just put what seemed right. Omni Waffle God says, I've gotten stuff surprisingly cheap through systems like this before. Casperella says, it works in your favor. If you're a regular and are nice to the employees, I'll bring them cookies for my job sometimes. Then in return, they occasionally forget to ring out my items or give me their friend's price. That's cool. Maybe I should start doing that. Donkey Cold Medina said people wouldn't walk to the counter if they knew how much they were being gouged. Excellent Hyena says you're paying for the convenience. That's true. That's a point I hadn't thought of before, actually. Called a convenience store for a reason. Someone says because a distributor dropped it at a gas station as opposed to a grocery store. Yes, because now you don't have to go to the grocery store. Just ask. Just go ahead. Yo, how much is the pop? There's no price here. I'd like to know how much it is before I pick it up. It's heavy. Next we have Am I the Jerk? It is entitled AITJ for cutting off my dad after finding out he's having another kid. I mean, hi, my mom told me the news. This is from the OP. Hearing about your new family forced me to accept something I avoided my whole life. You were never really there for me the way a father should be. You missed some of my biggest moments in my life, and somehow still expect me to act like I'm gonna share it. I will share it. It's easier to read on the screen. Expect me to act okay. My labor, postpartum, my milestones, the times I needed support, the times when you were absent, for almost all of it. I think what hurts the most is realizing you had the ability to show just not for me. As happy as I am for this new child, the little girl in me can't help but grieve the dad she never got to have. I can totally appreciate where she is coming from. I feel the same way about my mother. Tired of pretending that it doesn't affect me, I don't have anger anymore, just disappointment and hurt that never really left. I don't want to be a dark cloud over what should be a happy moment for your family, so I think it's best I step away and focus on healing. I truly wish you, your wife, and the baby the best moving forward. I want to tell you personally, you are, and always will be my firstborn. Well, that just fixes everything. I loved you too. I think part of this, part of why it is hurt so badly, is because no matter how old I get, part of me still wanted my dad. I'm glad you wanted to tell me personally, but I can't ignore the years where I needed you and felt alone. I genuinely hope this new chapter in your life is full of love, and I hope one day you understand why I had to finally say all of this. Says, what do you mean you loved me? You don't love me anymore? Did you ever love her? Just asking for a friend. Before anyone reads the screenshots, here's some background. Well, too bad. We read the screenshots first. They come first, we read them first. When I was little, my dad was actually a good dad. If anything, I was closer to him than my mom. That changed after my mom found out he was cheating on her. She went through his phone and found messages showing he was sleeping with other women. After my parents split, it felt like he just gave up having a relationship with me. I started rebelling a lot after that, and I skipped school and stopped caring about a lot of things. And while I'm not saying all of my problems are because of him, I also can't pretend his absence didn't affect me. Growing up, he mostly showed up for the important events because he felt like he had to. Sometimes he wouldn't even come to those. Every once in a while, he'd randomly stop by to make up for it, but it never felt consistent. When I found out I was pregnant, I FaceTimed him to tell him. He answered, looked like he was at his wife's family's. Instead of being excited, just whisper, not here. Then where? My mom grabbed the phone because she was confused, and before she could say anything, he hung up. Honestly, that hurt more than I can explain. My mom's side of the family was celebrating with me, while my own dad was acting like hearing I was having a baby was something to hide. A few days later, he told my mom he was happy for me, but he never actually told me that. When I gave birth, he stopped by my grandparents' house just to drop off some money. My grandmother told him I was literally in labor, and he still chose to leave to El Salvador to see his wife instead. I mean, that's a little bit more complicated because there's tons of money involved in a plane, and it can't easily be changed. I wasn't invited to the wedding. I wasn't included in that part of his life, and I've never met his wife. That's sad. That is really, really sad. Then recently he called my mom to tell her his wife was pregnant. I know babies are a blessing and don't blame the baby at all. But hearing that broke me. It wasn't just because he was having another child, it was because it reminded me uh, that he was always capable of showing up. He just never chose to do it for me. Before he called, I'd already sent him the message in these screenshots. After reading his response, I blocked him because I felt like he didn't understand how much his actions affected me. It wasn't a one-time event that made me cut him off. It was years of feeling like I came second, wasn't important, or only acknowledged when it was convenient. I still care about my dad, but now that I have my own daughter, I want to protect my peace and show her what a healthy parent-child relationship looks like. It's honestly why I decided to cut contact. He has no pictures with my daughter as a newborn or as a toddler. She doesn't even know him. If you would have told me as a little girl, I wouldn't have believed you. Sorry for the long vent. That's horrible. I am so sorry. At least I didn't know my mom ever. So it's not the same. Throwaway says, my main takeaway from this message is that he didn't even read what you wrote. He just noted the first line, assuming you were bitching about him not telling you personally, and moved on obliviously. From your explanation, I wonder if his wife or her side of the family even know about you. Yeah, sometimes you're the secret child. Some people are only good parents to little kids who can't question things, or when they have a partner who does all the hard work. Sounds like your dad fits in both those categories. I'm really sorry you have to deal with this. Dealt such a poxy hand with him. Mazel says he's not even bothered that his child's about to cut him off. Does he even care? His daughter is bleeding and crying out loud. The response is, whatever works for you. I feel sorry for her. I do too. But I also know how she feels. And when he dies, she will feel nothing. But okay. NTJ, Dad definitely made it look like he wants a clean slate with the new baby. LP says, thank you, exactly what I think too. Wild Pickle says, wow, he didn't even read or comprehend that you were so kindly and gently telling him. When people are incapable of love our parents, it's very painful and dangerous to keep expecting love. That is 100% true. It can skew our idea of what's acceptable behavior from someone who says he loves us. I hope you don't accept less than full love and respect from a partner. Opie says, thank you, and that's exactly what I think. He definitely didn't care to read all of it. And my husband is such a good dad. It deals with my good and most bad. I know I got a lot of people that love me, and including family, and I'm extremely grateful that I got to have that. What a horrible dad. I am so sorry, OP. I'm terribly sorry. Expectation versus reality. This is my daughter's first decorating attempt. So I'm assuming this is the inspiration. Oops. And this is the result. Why is it like broken glass there? That's weird. In the phone, man. That's cute. How old is your daughter? That's the question. How old is the kid? It's beautiful. Can tell those are strawberries. Yes. It's very good. It's better than probably what I would do. She's 35. I wasn't paying attention and thought, oh, he replied to this. I felt really sad for a second. Edit. It's super awesome for an 11-year-old. I guess she's 11. That's good for 11, not 35. How old is your daughter? I like it, but I need to know what level of excitement is required here. She's 11. That Kate is awesome. She did a great job. Oh, that's really funny. If you have not already, please like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. I try to go live at least 3 times a week, usually around noon Eastern time. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your enemies, tell your awful parents. If you have a story of your own or come across a good one in the wild, please send us an email and tie a submission. If you'd like an email link to the day's current live, send an email and tie a subscribe. The email is biddybrunchbunch, all one word, gmail.com. My email address is also in the description, and I never look at the email, just saying. The most reliable reminder is Snapchat, which is also in the description. All of my socials are in the descriptions. Please follow me. I only put up reminders for the show, so it's not a burden. I did not mean to do that. That one is not doing that. Next is real estate, usually from Zillow. It's entitled, So, If You Like Books. This is in Denver, Colorado. $3,900,000. 7 baths, 9 bedrooms. 7 bedrooms, 9 bathrooms. 98,000 and a quarter square feet. That's big. That's huge. Huge. very pretty. I like it. Yeah, that's nice. It's almost trying to be curvy. Oh, I like that window. That's so cool. Fireplace is lovely. Can we keep the horsies over the fire mantle? Because I love that. These are very horsey people as well as big booky people. This is a lovely library. Yeah, I want to sit here and read for sure. I want to sit in this room and read my eyes out. Dining area. Nice. Don't quite know what that's supposed to be. There's a little place over here maybe for coffee. Ooh, look at that refrigerator. Refrigerator freezer. My sister had one like that once. It's shallow, so things don't get stuffed in the back. Also tall, so I need a stool. Where's the stovetop? There's a stovetop over here because I kind of don't like that. Refrigerator. That's way too high. That's way too high for me. Why isn't over the? I would put it over the dishwasher. Just saying. But that's just me. I would put the microwave over the dishwasher. Yeah, the range is on the island. I'm not a fan. That's a big range though. It's nice. But I wouldn't put it in the island, personally. Is this the same book room? Because it kind of looks like the same book room. Oh, maybe it's not. It's a different room with books. We do have friends who the living room has a giant bookshelf like that, and it's full of books. More books in the bedroom. Oh, I love that bedroom. It's lovely. Absolutely lovely. I like the architecture in this house a whole lot. It has a little balcony, it has a fireplace. I love it. Love, 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 love this bedroom. What is that? Is that a dishwasher in the bedroom? No, thank you. Laundry room's right off the bedroom. Okay, and I'm not a fan of that. Not a fan of that at all. Is this the closet? More books in it. The bathroom does not have any books in it. Like, what the heck? I do kind of like that rock tile look. That's kind of cool. I don't know that I want it in my house, but for maybe a cabin or something. Ooh, that's a nice shower and bathtub. That's lovely. I like that one. I don't like the wood in the bathroom. No, I like that bed. Probably doesn't come with the house, right? I'm not in love with this bedroom. It has the like slope ceilings. My husband finds those claustrophobic because he's tall and claustrophobic. A very white bathroom. Another small bedroom. Also like that sleigh bed. I should just put up poles and put a canopy on my bed and stuff. My husband would die. That is a claustrophobic sleeping area. I'm sorry. No, thank you. And you're blocking the window. I don't think I would do that. In an office with the bathroom, this is probably another bedroom, to be honest. Lonesome dove. Should have known from all the horse stuff going on. Boomer Sooner. So this must be Oklahoma fans. Why are you living in Colorado? If you're Sooner fans. Another lovely bathroom. An interesting shower. Well, we have a game room with more books. I wonder if the books move around the house. I'd probably just put the book down wherever it was at. Oh, that's lovely. Little balcony area. rooftop, maybe. Oh, they even have a TV out there. Interesting. How do we feel about that? Oh, there's a little greenhouse too. Cool. I want this house. I kind of want this house, or at least a lot of parts of this house, and a little bit pool. Is this a pool house? What is this? Yes, I want the greenhouse. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, I want the greenhouse so bad. So I told you it was built in 1928, so it's elderly. It only has a half an acre lot. It's called the Broomfield House, one of Denver's most significant historic residences and a true masterpiece. Positioned on half an acre overlooking the country club and Cherry Creek. So you still might not have light neighbors. It was the architect was Burnham Hoyt. Studied the renowned Beaux Arts Institute. The residence showcases a collection of preserved historic craftsmanship and timeless details. Two-story foyer, exquisite millwork, very entertaining spaces. 7 spacious bedrooms, 9 bathrooms, former staff quarters in the lower level. Attached 3-car garage. One of the estate's unique features is its original attached greenhouse, which is in need of some updating, but is ready for someone to turn it back into something exceptional, or forward into something exceptional. Equally charming is the detached playhouse/art studio, originally built for the daughters. The Fords also have a playhouse on their property. I know this because I live near the property, and I've been there. An offer of its caliber is exceptionally rare. So across the street is you will not have the neighbors across the street. So that's kind of nice. Half an acre in town. I guess so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bedrooms in the upper levels. 1, 2 bedrooms on the bathrooms on the main level. One in the basement, the rest are all with the bedrooms. Dining room is on the main floor. Exercise in the basement. Family room in the main. And there's family room in the basement. I'm gonna have to go get. Oh, no, I have a minute. Yes, I do have my Western shirt on. That's where I went to school. Yes, I did graduate. Kitchen, living room, sunroom are all in the main. Utility room is in the basement. Heating is hot water, central air. That's nice. Features eating kitchen, entrance foyer, 5-piece bath, Jack and Jill bathroom, open floor plan, primary suite, vaulted ceilings, and walk-in closets. Flooring is carpet tile and wood. Does QED mean? Okay. not agreeing with me on something. Taxes, $25,686. I decided my taxes are really cheap. captioned caption for the post. Even though I have a good amount of books, I probably have to resort to one of those services that sell books by the foot to fill all the shelves. Just find an estate sale. As much as I'd hate to do that. Yeah, I need 30 feet of brown leather books, 20 of red, 20 of green, mix and match, another 350. Subjects, I don't care, just pick books that make me look intelligent. Or I spend the rest of my life collecting books. Just go find somebody that's giving books away. Like we gave so many books away when my sister-in-law moved. My brother-in-law was a complete and total bookworm. It's a beautiful house, though, needs restoring. I suspect the mechanicals are old, but a great price. There's another beautifully restored house nearby with a fewer square feet for $5 million, more than the asking price on this one. You could use the difference to buy books. Even Monster says, I don't think I'd ever leave the house. Yeah. Kevin Martin says, and the fireplace in every room. I've dreamed about a house like this my whole life. Riley Jonesy says, I need a supply of firewood and Aberlour. I'm set for life. Presence Important says, dreamy and a greenhouse introverts delight. Yeah. Psychological Oil answers, I have enough fixed to fill the shelves and I garden. I love this house otherwise as well. Now if I just had $4 million lying around, I'd buy it in a heartbeat. Kevin Dulles has a gif of the library in Beauty and the Beast. Says, those are some magical bookcases. I love the challenge of trying to fill them. Bandit Frog said, the only issue I see is there's a TV where more books could be. The greenhouse needs to be filled with plants and turned into a catio. No, not a catio. Those aren't my books. Funky Fan says, the other issue I see is a 4-story building with about 30 windows looking directly into your backyard. Bandit Frog answers, books, who cares about the neighbors? Lovely book house. Booky book. Next we have Server Life. It's entitled Wing Us, I guess. Remember, it's a meme. Somebody says, what's going on with the American tipping culture? And remember, your server is not responsible for how long your food is taking to cook. And remember, your customer is not responsible for the money your employer doesn't want to pay you. Disco Bird Dag says, the thing I never understood about this argument people make is that they claim they blame restaurants for underpaying their servers, but they know that's not going to change, or else they would have by now. No, it still could change. Anything can change. This has been the industry for at least past 40 years. So, does it have to be for the next 40 years? No. So it makes me feel like justification is a scapegoat. The undertone of these comments is servers should just get a different job. No, servers should demand that their employers pay them a living wage. That's what the servers need to do. Funny enough, a lot of these people look down on servers for living off tips. I don't look down on them. I want the system to change. And meltdowns during COVID when a lot of restaurants switch over to QR code memories and mobile payments. I did not have a meltdown at all, sir. At my old restaurant, we used to say that there would be sections that are table service and counter no table service. Let the people who don't want to tip have a place where they can sit, hang out, and enjoy the restaurant food. Gives the power back to the customer. That's not at the expense of the servers or bartenders. I'm not saying that they should get another job. A bicycle says, giving that service should not be just be paid more by their employer's justification for not tipping is essentially saying, I know you're being exploited, but the reasonable price is here. Allow me to eat out most nights. I don't eat out most nights. I rarely go to an actual sit down restaurant. Maybe once a week. Probably less than that, really. I don't remember if I did last week at all. Yeah, we did. Last weekend we did go out for one meal. We were out of town. And I hadn't had anything to eat all day except for a Rice Krispie treat and a couple of pieces of apple. the vagina says, I think I know what it's supposed to say, but I'm not pronouncing it that way. Reddit is full of people who keep posting this is reasonable not to tip. Honestly, people don't feel this way, but most Redditors do. Maybe because they're younger and it's going to change at some point. I just want them paid just like everybody else. It's silly that they rely on tips. Tips should be extra for extra service, not for normal service, because your employer is not paying you. But I do tip. I tip well. Just because I don't like it doesn't mean I don't do it. Next, we have confession. Hope it's not as wild as the one yesterday. Sorry, you're gay. As a child, I used to suckle on receipts because they had a unique taste and texture. Oh, I don't think that's good for you. I'm now 28, trying to start a family with my wife to no avail. Went to the urologist today because while my wife's gynecology tests came back perfect, textbook even. One of my friends, I shoot blanked. I'm absolutely crushed. It probably has nothing to do with that. My doctor asked if I've been continuously exposed to PBAs and PBSs, and my mind flickered to those memories of actually gnawing on receipts at ages 3 to 11. He told me it's a direct correlation. He's seen a lot of men have sperm problems due to prolonged exposure to those same chemicals. My wife is floored. I am floored. I don't know what the next step is. Possibly to reverse this? How do you reverse that? You can't reverse that. The damage is done, sir. I want a baby so bad. I can't stand the fact that we've had this done to us. Please, guys and girls, but try your best to limit exposures that are known to carry PBAs and PBSs. Well, yeah, this is why I only use gas in the microwave, or glass in the microwave. And even on that, I prefer the air fryer. No Fuel says, put yourself in a financial predicament so there's no way you can afford a kid. Presto, she's pregnant. Opie says, that's crazy how we make sure they're both stable until we started trying. So Ladybug says, there's your mistake. Bert's mom says, my mother worked for an adoption agency for 25 years or more. And without a doubt, that always happened when the couple would get placed with a baby and within a month they would end up pregnant. I have seen that more than once. And I don't work and I've never worked in an adoption agency. It was the luck or lack of pressure, planning, and turning into work. Once it was back to fun for the company, it became productive. I'm not suggesting adoption unless that fits for you, but I'm suggesting you try and relax and not make it a job. Good luck. I hope you get knocked up. The the coiffeur says, "Your actions aged 3 to 8 are not your fault. It's not something you've done. It's something that happened because of the world we grew up in. Don't be hard on yourself, buddy." Fettered and Zaftig said, "I remember chewing on lead paint chips when I was 5 and younger because they had such an interesting texture to bite. Also, they're sweet." I don't know if it's related, but I have something called severely deficient autobiographical memory. I have very few memories of my life, as well as a tremor and a little sensation of what it should be my most sensitive places. Sometimes there are terrible consequences and things. I'm sorry for OP. I also have SDAM, um, caused by my aphantasia, most likely. It seems to go hand in hand. Their attorney says there's a good documentary on Netflix about living plastic-free and fertility. This helped a lot of people. So if you're infertile and it's because of plastics, and you think it's because of plastics, like I said, I never put plastics in the microwave. If I store something in plastic, it goes into a glass container or on a plate before I put it in the microwave. Yeah, this is interesting AF. Aw, the video can't be played. It was a brave 28-pound muntjac deer challenges a 1.7-ton rhino at the Wroclaw Zoo. I wonder if you can find. Don't want to leave you hanging. So I 35 seconds long. Up, back up, up. Out of here. So where's the little deer? It's tiny. They're just playing. Well, I think the deer's serious, but the rhino's just playing. They're so cute. Yeah, it's so cute. Let me see. We found it anyway because we are smart. Vegetarian has a little wiener dog racing a rhino meme, and it says underneath it has the dog saying, "I was extremely drunk that day." Okay, second temporary comment is, if I recall correctly, the little guy was defending his territory and his mate. The rhino, I think she was called Marussia, interpreted as play. She was generally described as the zookeepers as patient and kind. And the lad's name is Tata, and his mate was in heat during this encounter. Marushka and the tiny deer live in the same enclosure, or at least lived at least, and get along very well. That's nice. Somebody says they want to hug a rhino. Not a good idea. Do not do this in the wild. Prudent Resolve says you can pet one at the San Diego Zoo backstage experience. They're shockingly soft. Honda says the big guy is playing and seems to know the little guy could easily get squashed easily. Brilliant. Servo Galactico says there are a lot of zookeepers that say rhinos raised in captivity behave a lot like dogs. That did look like a big dog playing with a little kid or something. Very gentle. Very nice. Good rhino. Good rhino. You love the rhino. Next we have Am I the A-hole? And the title AITA for telling my husband that paternity leave isn't a holiday. No, you're not. High 30s female gave birth to our son a few days ago. It was incredibly traumatic. I had severe postpartum hemorrhage, lost 1.8 liters of blood, had an emergency surgery to remove the placenta. I'm still recovering. Our son was born with pulmonary atresia with an intact ventricular septum and was admitted straight to the NICU. He will likely need heart surgery, and we have been told that they've found another abnormality they're investigating. Oh, that sounds traumatic and horrible. I'm so sorry, LP. So sorry. My husband has a son from a previous relationship, Greg. I want to be clear that I have no issue with Greg meeting his little brother or spending time with his dad. I've never asked him to choose between his children. 2 days after I gave birth, I thought Greg's mom would bring him to meet the baby before taking him home. Instead, my husband collected Greg and spent the entire day with him. They went to London, I had lunch, and he had a beer, and then went to play Xbox until Greg was collected around 9 p.m. Oh my goodness. Greg's daddy, what are you doing? During that day, my husband spent 20 minutes with our newborn in the NICU and barely saw me. Was this a scheduled time that he was supposed to have Greg? Because I'm wondering if it's scheduled time that he's supposed to have Greg. He should probably have spent the day with Greg, to be honest. My mom stayed with me in the postnatal ward, but she couldn't come to the NICU. So I was making my own way to see our son while recovering from major blood loss and surgery. When I explained I wasn't upset Greg had visited, but that I hadn't expected to be left alone all day long, while our baby was still critically ill, my husband became defensive. He said he enjoyed spending time with Greg and that he was being a parent. I replied that I wasn't saying he shouldn't parent Greg. I was saying I needed him to be a husband to me and a father to our newborn during what was a medical emergency. When I later explained how much blood I had lost, his response of my sister lost 5. Let's not compare. Shall we not compare? The next day I told him doctors had found her another abnormality with our son's heart. He complained nobody told him. I pointed out that he'd already left because he'd only spent about 20 minutes in the NICU. Now I'm being discharged, but our son is still in the NICU. Of course, he's going to be there for a while, probably. I'm exhausted and terrified to leave him while my husband has spent the morning taking Greg to the cinema. I told him that paternity leave isn't supposed to be a holiday and that I don't feel supported. I said if this is what his paternity leave looks like, I'd almost rather he went back to work because then I'd understand why I was doing everything alone. He says I'm being unfair because he's trying to balance both children. Do you spend this amount of time with your son most normally? Or is this a special occasion because you have the day off? That's the difference. The Mad King says NTA that child in the NICU should definitely take priority. I'm sorry you have to deal with this all by yourself. Me too. There's a deleted comment. Langier Canoe says he's not parenting both kids at all. He's ignoring the newborn in favor of the 11-year-old. I would divorce a man who left me without support at a vulnerable time to go have fun with his other kid, like from the hospital bed. Any love I had for him would die instantly. Fuzletta says, I have been the Greg in comparable situations before. I spent the entire day at the hospital. I was involved, but I wasn't the focus. Every adult made clear the person recovering from a major medical episode was rightfully the center of attention, the one whom every plan revolved around. What on earth was the father thinking? Exactly. My husband was there the whole time. My kids were when I was having my babies until the kids were essentially dropped back off with us. And my situation wasn't nearly as dire. I had no kids in the NICU. I had a C-section with the first one, so obviously there were no other kids involved. I had pretty bad labors with the other two, and did spend extra nights in the an extra night in the hospital with both. But yeah, my husband was there the whole time. Remarkable intern says, NTI, I think we understand why your husband and his ex didn't stay together. Absolute baffling behavior by your husband. He should be camped out in the hospital 24/7 or taking care of you and nothing else. Greg sounds like he's not a literal toddler, so he was understand his father needing to be there for his stepmother and sibling. If he doesn't now, he certainly will when he's older. Her husband is actually being dismissive and annoyed over these matters is infuriating. Opie says he's 10, 11 in a week, so he's basically 11. It's really bright. Says NTA, it sounds like your partner is just trying to direct himself from a stressful situation without thinking how you may need them there for your own comfort. But the my sister-in-law's 5 comment is really, really weird. Who tries to one up someone's medical trauma. Edit, I do know that is lethal amount of blood loss and he's most likely lying. But the point wasn't the number, it was the hand waving. Jet Black says, who tries to one up someone's medical trauma? A-holes, that's who. I'd have told him to get the wing out. Genius says, everyone, it seems. I have lupus, RA, and a multitude of other autoimmune diseases and chronic illnesses. People on subreddits get it, but real life people don't. Well, then you have bad people around you. Next, we have overheard. It is entitled Parenting Done Right. Oh, wait. No, we're not supposed to be doing that one. We're supposed to be doing. Well, maybe I could do the yesterday's correctly. I thought I messed up on this one. Maybe it wasn't this one. It was another one. Parenting Done Right. Overheard this conversation between H husband, W wife, and T teenage daughter. H. No human can say rough twice in a row. Teenager. Really? Rough, rough. Wife. Good dog. Teen. Facial expression says that he's not related to these people. I love these everyday examples of parenting done right. Man, they're tag teaming her. That's not fair. You shouldn't tag team your kid like that. Sakura Andy says at 14, how is she going to survive those two? Opie says the same way we all did. Teenage says snarky commentary. The Forest Top said, my niece is I'm wearing pajamas every day. One Sunday morning, she had a friend spend the night. She asked if I'd take them to breakfast. I said I'd be ready in time. By the time she changed and they said they were ready, I shook my head and said I'd be a few. I quickly changed into pajama pants with Donald Duck all over them. They were mortified and just wanted to hit the Jack in the Box drive-thru. Oh, hell no. I parked, told them I was going to eat and they could come in or wait in the car. They reluctantly came in. After that, she dressed if she went with me. That's not bad. That's not bad. I don't have a problem with that at all. Opie says golf clap. Well played. If we don't traumatize our kids with fashion, who will? The Fairies Top says, I laugh almost every day when I hear something about the grandkids did to annoy her. It's the worst thing a kid could do is having to remind her of her youth. Their top party comment is, sardines are the best. I think this is probably my son-in-law. I'm still saving this for when I see my niece in a few weeks. She calls me the queen of cringe. I wear that title with pride, so maybe not my son-in-law. Maybe not my boy. But he does like his sardines. Matter of fact, his best gift, he said his best gift for Christmas was the sardines. I gave him like 5 different kinds of sardines. Said he liked all of them, so good for him. I do like sardines myself, but not the fancy ones. Just give me the plain ones. Next is Tear Off My Chest, entitled I watched Meta replace my entire team with an AI agent before they told us they were gone that we were gone too. I don't care about NDA anymore. I don't know why posting has been carried around for weeks and I need to get this out. I don't even care about the NDA anymore. I gave Meta 2 years and I was on the internal procurement side handling supplier contracts, invoice processing, and the unglorious plumbing that keeps a company running. And there were 3 teams doing this, one negotiating supplier rates, one converting everything to Oracle compatible formats, and one entering contract data to the ERP and other approving exceptions flagged by TCSI, plus an internal BPO checking invoices before anything got paid. Hundreds of people on that side alone. And the work was not simple data center build out. It was scaling unpredictability because of how much money was being thrown at AI. And reality labs is a hardware native software company trying to stand up to factories, logistics, and supplier relations completely from scratch. We were renegotiating supply contracts every 15 to 30 days to keep pace with how fast things were moving. In the middle of all that, while the business itself was growing 2 to 3 times a year over year, leadership's decision was to shrink the team to a fifth of its size because it didn't matter anymore whether it did. And for context, it's the same company that stopped giving people permanent desks so no one could look around and guess who was next, where their morale has been on the floor for months. Even people internally didn't think Llama for lives up to what leadership says about it publicly. I know more than one manager that have said out loud that they don't recognize this company anymore. There's also a leaked clip from April 30th still going around where Zuckerberg allegedly talks about employee activity being used to train the AI ahead of the cuts. Oh my. Oh my. That's like training your replacement. 2 years I gave this place and I watched all of it happen from the inside before it happened to me. By the time the layoffs actually hit in May, the whole pipeline was already running without us. One agent runs procurement and contract negotiation end to end. Another set of agents took over what CTSI used to do entirely, checking, approving, paying invoices, with a small human team left just to handle whatever the agents flag as an exception. And the only thing that was in good faith was that people were laid off or being helped by a free hand to find new roles. The company whose agents replaced what we used to do, though. But there's guilt having watched it for months because I didn't want to believe it was coming for me too. What's that thing about the Nazis? And then there was no line left for me to speak up for me. Most people I know treat it as a signal to move, and I think that's a healthier response. I know what you guys will say. I should have seen it coming, but I just need to say it all out of somewhere. Beneficial Cellist says, I think Meta is running off current data and old data collected. I read somewhere about the whole Pokemon Go thing and how it was the largest map data collection ploy in history. None of the people and the kids knew that they were contributing to the largest data heist data collection, but that same data is being used all over the world now. I don't have a problem with that. I mean, you got to collect data somehow. No matter what app we use, we are contributing to the next data heist. I don't know about that. What will future jobs look like? Well, there won't be any. There won't be any future jobs. You will be getting a set income, and then you can use your creativity to use that as a springboard, or you can just accept what you have. There won't be any jobs. I think Elon said in the next 10 years. Don't believe anything Elon says. He may be right, but his time frame is never right. What can humans do to protect ourselves? It would be nice to see the next big thing be landlines back in homes. Regular cable, no. Newspapers on our doorsteps, no. Let's not go backward. We got to go forward, but we got to go forward in a smart way. No one is protected, not even the executives. Everyone can be replaced. What will the companies do when they're paying customers, the same paying customers that are responsible for making a company successful do not have a job? No job means pay also means no customers to buy their products or services. These companies are thinking of right now and they're saving money, but they're shooting themselves in the foot. Exactly. Exactly. That was the same person. Their top rate comment is from Taitush. People in tech who love AI don't realize that they are the easiest part of the workforce for AI to take over and replace, and who watches AI get trained to do their work and still doesn't get it. Yeah, I have no words. It's coming for you. Just saying. We already don't have people at the cash registers at some of the fast food restaurants because we have kiosks now, and they don't need those people. Next is what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? I do I do do? This is entitled "Worried About Loved One and Inhalant Abuse." As per the title, putting pieces together, noticing how many of these cans of dry shampoo are in the bathroom. 8 right now. Oh my! The rest are under the sink. But it can only last 5 days to a week. Also, for quite a while now, I'm talking about 2 to 4 years of inheriting a steep pattern of 4 or 5 sound events that happen in the same order and time span, which only occur when I'm perceived to be asleep or out of audible range. Never once have the same repetition of noises happen when I'm present. I'm being a hard-lying gaslit each time my voice concern or question if there's anything I should know. We've been together for a decade. They also have a large tattoo of a tester's glue and talk about getting a high off of that stuff as a kid as well. Thorough Panic says you should be reaching out to local programs in your area. A lot of times, especially with inhalants, it's hard to gauge where they are at mentally, and really having a specialist on your side is best for both of you. Additionally, be smart about who you're involving. If you're running around telling everyone your partner is huffing, it ends up being something else. You're bound to ruin their reputation. Again, this is something a specialist can help you with, as well as figuring out who the best be a part of the intervention if one is needed. Opie says, no, it's a huge increase in how often I'm hearing it happen. It's my spouse, and we're going through quite a rough patch. Extreme disconnect, a lot more time on the phone, all hours of the night even, and choosing to spend a majority of time in her upstairs room where we've always hung out together in the past. Yeah, that's an issue. Blazing Roach says, dude's worried about his wife huffing duster, but he's smoking crack. Was it? Oh, so both of them. Useful Cicada says, is anyone else considered this paranoid because the OP uses crack? He's fixated on his wife and her dry shampoo, which could be helping, but also could be her using dry shampoo. The way he describes the situation even sounds sane. I hear the sound sayings but only when I'm not present. Like, I know what he means, but this sounds paranoid and potentially inaccurate. That sounds like an issue. I don't even have words. I have no, like, they're both messed up. Probably need to go the way of not being together anymore. Next, we have mildly infuriating if it ever loads. It's taking so long. There we go. Okay, mildly infuriating. So this guy stood outside the stall door like this for the duration of my use. It just shows some guy in sandals. Yeah, that's annoying. Still goat says, "Wait like that," while he goes. Volatile analysis and banging the door loudly while aggressively trying to handle multiple times. Why is he standing there? Like, go do something else. Um, Open the door and let him in, dude. And then there's a meme: poop with friends, smiley, poop alone, sad face. Mm. Yeah, don't stand outside somebody's stall when they're doing their deed. Honestly, that would disrupt me. I don't even like when my husband comes in when I'm doing that. Like, go away. Or as the 2-year-old says, I need privacy. Okay, call me when you're done. That's what I tell him. Call me when you're done. I'll give you privacy. You're two, but it's okay. Everybody needs their privacy. Funny, you used to do it in the middle of the living room floor just a few weeks ago. You didn't need privacy then, did you? Next, we have best of Redditor updates and is entitled AITA for asking, not insisting that my boyfriend switch meals with me when I don't like what I've ordered in a restaurant. Yes. Yes, probably. He shouldn't have to switch meals with you. If you don't like your meal, that's not on him. Under a moderator of my city's subreddit, and my boyfriend could easily see this. I've been friends with my boyfriend for years, actually together about 3 months now. He's the sweetest guy, and I know he's been seriously hurt in the past. And I'm so happy we're finally clicking after being flirt buddies since middle school. We are 25 now. That's cute. That's cute. Whenever we go out, he always orders the same basic thing. 99% of the time, it's a cheeseburger, plain ketchup on the side with honey mustard to dip his fries. He actually loves exotic food, but he says that menus and making choices stresses him out, so he doesn't want to, but put thought into it. I love trying exotic things, and to me, that's the reason to go out. To me, it's exciting. I'm with her on that one. Um, can't stand it when people order the same thing. Although I mean, I have my go-tos. Like if I'm trying a new restaurant, I will either order the fish and chips or the French dip. Although last weekend we went to a restaurant that had a French dip, but I ordered Monte Cristo because I hardly ever get those. You hardly ever see them on a menu anymore. So I ordered Monte Cristo instead, and it was good. It was so good. So I will try new things, but if I'm trying a new place, that's how I judge the new place. My husband, it's lasagna, and I forgot the other thing that he orders on the regular. But he'll also eat salmon and other pastas and stuff. It's not like it's every time. Does he want Oh, meatloaf. They had meatloaf. Let's try the meatloaf. Otherwise, it's lasagna or a burger or something. But he will try the lasagna every place and the meatloaf every place. And I'm French dip and fish and chips. But we don't. But I order it once, and then I try several other things. If we keep going back, I try several other things, and then I might find something else I like at that particular restaurant. One particular restaurant in town, if they have goulash on the menu, I will take the goulash that day. They don't always have it. Um, so that's what I do. Um, However, when we go out to, okay, my issue is things always look and sound better than they turn out to be. Not always, always. I decide that I actually just want a burger. So I usually ask him if he'll switch with me, and he always does and never complains. Most of the time, he even says how good the food was. To me, it's a win for both of us. It gets him out of his comfort zone. We don't waste food. Last night, we both had to work really late and we met up at the sports bar. They were having a calamari special. It sounded really good. He ordered the cheeseburger as usual. I just wasn't feeling caramali when he came in, so I asked if he would switch to me. He said no. I asked him why not and said I didn't want it to go to waste. He said then you shouldn't have ducking ordered it. It was excuse me. He went on a tirade and said I treat him like a garbage disposal. He's a grown man, and I'm being immature, and I don't pin my crap on him. I said it sounded like her speech. It probably was because he's probably tired of your crap. He said maybe it was since I insist on stealing his food every time we go out somewhere. I started crying and he said, "Don't start that bullshit with me. Um, here we have both had meals." He got up and walked out. I don't blame him. He's not called or texted me. It's 6 a.m. and I honestly thought he would call to apologize. Now, what he should have done was have a discussion with you when he got tired of switching meals. That would have been the mature thing to do. How old are they? They're 25. So they're not quite so mature as a 30-year-old. But you should have had this discussion. Like, I don't like it when you order something and you decide you don't like it and you take my hamburger. Like, I'm being nice to you giving me my burger, but I want to eat my burger once in a while. I called my sister and near quote, "You're an a-hole for waking me up at 5:30 and he's going to see you asking and insisting that's really crappy of you to put pressure on him." She basically hung up. So she said A-I-T-A-H. Verdict was a-hole. Yeah, it's good. Top comments. H. Williams says, YTA, sounds like you go out and pick a crap you're not sure you'll like it, and then ask, which feels to him like an insistence for him to eat the crap you decided you didn't want. That would drive me nuts, and honestly, your boyfriend did that way too long, way longer than I would have. Also, who calls somebody else at 5:30 in the morning to complain about crap? Double YTA. Order the food you order the food you like a grown up. OOP says, I can add that he's never said he's uncomfortable with me asking him to switch before last night. Well, clearly, I'm sure there were signs. I'm sure he gave a big sigh every once in a while. Nina's Nina Simon rules. I think that's what it says. Nina Simone rules? Nina Simone rules. Y2A. Why is he the one that has to deal with your experimenting? If you don't like it, order something else and make sure you both pay. Should be pay for both. OOP says, then so much food gets wasted. Then stop wasting food. That's on you. Updated the next day. Well, he called and didn't even let me get a word in. He says he needs a break, and that he hasn't been happy for the first 3 months. Then the relationship isn't for him. I guess you're all proved correct, and I'm an a-hole and now a single a-hole. Well, good. Exotherm says she has a bizarre mix of self-awareness and self-obliviousness. Salamala says, I don't insist, but he said no. And I said, why not? And proceeded to explain it would work out perfectly if he does exactly what I wanted to what I tell him, there would be no wasted food, but I'm not insisting. Yeah, it's ridiculous. So the one time he said no, you did insist, and he ended up walking out. Dude. TA says, also, food is only being wasted when he says no. Now when I change my mind and decide not to eat what I ordered, obviously. Wolf on the job says, I might be here in regards to disposal, but I never in my life ordered food and decided not to eat it when it arrived. I have, but I also take it home. I just don't eat. I try all random stuff whenever I get a chance. I will taste it, and if it's horrible, I would just not eat it. But to change mine before the food even comes out is insane. Yes, exactly. Like, I ordered the calamari, but I just wasn't feeling it once it got to the table. Like, what? That's ridiculous. Odyssey and Oracle says, ugh, he just gets the same lame plain old burger every time. And then I want that wanging burger. The Stark Jew says, how are they eating out so much? She's ordering badly so often. It has been a problem this much in the 3 months they've been dating. Well, if they go out once a week, that's 12 meals. When I read the title, I didn't think this was that bad, but in the fourth paragraph, she said, always happens, which is ridiculous. If you always end up wanting a burger, then stop ordering the calamari and just order the damn burger. Exactly. Bob Mortimer Butthole says, it's because this is a badly rewritten copy of a better Ballroom, except it switched the narrator from the boyfriend to the girlfriend, shortened the timeline. So that was the snow crab special at the sports bar. That was a good one. Interesting. What would you do? I would get fed up. I want my burger when I want my burger. And I do want a burger every once in a while. I don't eat out. I don't like eat out anymore during the week, pretty much. I had a coffee yesterday. I went and bought an actual coffee yesterday. It wasn't as good as 7 Brew. I gotta remind me to text my sister-in-law on that. Made me smile. I curated a book display at my local library. It's all about local history. A book display for the month of August about the history of my hometown in Connecticut. I like to learn about history, and I'm interested in local history, so I put it up yesterday, Rockville. Happy August. Okay. Like, I mean, it's cute. I hope it doesn't look like good for you. This little kid, I'd be more impressed, to be honest. Looks very professional. Oh, LP's name is I Love Public Libraries. He's a library geek, and that's okay. All right. That's all I got for today. Honestly, if I had to do it all over again, I would get a library science degree and research library and become a research librarian. That's what I would do. But that's just me. That's just little old me. Um, all right. That's all I have for today. I hope you guys have a good weekend. I will be back on Tuesday this time. Have a good day. Love you all. Bye. Bye. Take care.